Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Overgrowth Weekly number 53. Today is December 18th, 2011, and I'm Silverfish, aka Lukas Orsvärn, and here as well is Anton Riehl, as usual.
Hey guys, how are you? How's it going?
And right away, let's kick the cams into action, man. Let's do this. Something that has never happened before on the Overgrowth Weekly show. We have cams. We have our faces on the internets. I hope you appreciate this, guys. I know.
No, don't look at me. Oh.
Oh yeah. So we have webcams. Nice, right? Yeah.
Awesome.
Applause.
Great.
Yes. So this is Anton. His face right there, as you can see, very beautiful young man.
Right.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah, and I am of course Silverfish, also known as Lukas. Also known as Silverfish. Also known as Lukas. And hopefully we will be able to use these webcams now instead of having this fancy image that we always had before. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that image, but it's a bit more interesting to look at a person's face than at a static image, or at least that's what I imagine.
Something like that.
Yeah. So what's going on, Anton?
You know, just working like normal, but had a little chance to go to a party last night, which was kind of fun. Hung out with the family, and yeah. You know, I've probably spent more time playing Bit Trip Runner than I should have this week.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
Have you tried any of the other games in the bundle yet?
Super Meat Boy as well.
Nice.
Also a lot of fun.
It's a good bundle.
It's an amazing bundle, and it's had an amazing turnout as well. So.
Yeah, that's really good to see actually.
By the way, I don't see the fast stream for me.
There is a bug. I do not know what happened. For some reason, it doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. What can you do, man? Technology.
What can you do?
Technology. But, yeah. So, what about me, I guess? I've been programming.
What about you?
I've been programming. As usual, I've been working on Overgrowth 2D that I'm doing. I guess I'll show you the progress on that later during the show. Yeah, I've been wasting time on stuff that I shouldn't actually waste time on. For instance, well, the last 2 days, it's supposed to be in on Wednesday, by the way. I'm supposed to present this on Wednesday. And today and yesterday, I spent all day working on the animations in the game. And, well, I've only come like halfway into the project, and I'm making my animations in Blender, even though it's a 2D game. So I'm making like billboards, and then I rig them and animate them because I want it to look nice, and I'm sure it's going to look great, but I'm not sure if I'm going to make it on time.
Well, I suppose it's better to be ambitious and turn in a mostly done project. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think as long as the progress shows that you sort of understand the point of the project, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great. But let's move on with the show, man. Let's move on with the show. And let me click this button here. I'm gonna have to start learning how to use these hotkeys, because I need to be able to quickly switch between cams and non-cams. Okay, so Overgrowth Weekly number 53. This week, of course, Alpha 161. Very nice Alpha, if I may say so. By the way, let's turn on the checkboxes by learn_more. Thanks, learn_more. Yay! Slash clap. And those checkboxes there as well. Okay, so this week, max speed parameter works properly with running. Let's test this out and see. Let's see what he's talking about here. So I select this guy. Is it you? Yes, it is. 0.0 8. Yeah, let's set that to 4. See if that works. Yay! No, it's working like I expected that it would.
So fast and furious.
Wow. Whee.
But what happened if you set it to like 0.2?
Let's try it out.
And if you set it to 0.2 and run down a hill, what happens? That's kind of my curiosity in terms of max speed, is does it limit your actual, like how fast you can travel down a hill?
I don't think it does limit that. I don't think... Yeah, as you can see. Wee. Well, he's basically walking around.
It's Turner on the moon.
One small step for humanity, one huge step for a little rabbit. Alright, yeah. So that's that speed parameter. Now it's working more like I expected it to. Before you accelerated quicker, I think. So it's good to see that's working like I want it to work. Yes.
Cool.
Added screen space ambient occlusion shader. Can test by renaming post.frag to post_old.frag and renaming post screen space ambient occlusion frag. SSAO. Let's reload this so you can see what it says. And renaming post_SSAO.frag to post.frag. I haven't done this in my game yet, so I'm gonna have to take a look at it after we've gone through the rest of the points in the list here.
Isn't that something that live updates, or no?
It's live, yeah. It's like the live shadows, you know, they have the baked ambient occlusions in the game now.
Right, no, I understand that, because I've changed it, but what I'm asking is, wasn't that something that was supposed to be able to update live, like if you changed it right now and you went back to the game, would that crash it, or would it update? You don't have to try it, I'm just curious.
I don't know, so I'm gonna have to try it. I don't think it would crash it, because if it has it loaded into the game, then it has it loaded and, you know, it should be no problem.
Okay.
Where can I find these? Let's see, shaders, I guess? Scripts?
GLSL or something like that.
GLSL, yeah. And then it was post.frag. Old. And post_SSAO to post.frag. Let's see if something happens.
It'll probably crash the game. Sorry.
Nothing happened.
Okay.
Well, now I have that then, so we can check that out later.
Yeah, I did turn it on though. If you haven't, it's interesting. The effect is not so. It's not super exaggerated, but I actually noticed sort of a haloing effect around everything, and you know, I'm not quite sure that the shader itself is ready for playing in the game, but I know that Dave said that there are some filters and things that he would need to add to make it really work. But yeah,
he talked about the screen space ambient occlusion as the SSAO thing stands for, and as he said, he just did it, I think, basically just for fun. I'm not sure if it's going to be used in the game at all, even, but it's a bit useful though.
Right. Well, I think like he said, it's great for map making in real time, but probably not for the actual game itself.
Yeah. Just like the dynamic shadows in the game right now.
Exactly.
But I'm going to restart into that after we've taken a look at the rest of the points. So let's keep moving here.
Cool.
So next we have characters look around during idle animations. This is pretty cool. It makes the game harder as well. So if I add a new character here, let's hope I don't go over some limit of AI characters. That would be annoying. Characters, let's add a civilian dude. Split. And take a look at his face, you can see he's looking around. And that means something for gameplay, because their view is actually attached to their head, so they see in the direction that they look.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I was testing that to see if how much it affected it. So I actually turned on the ray casting, the visible ray casting, and it didn't look like it changed the ray casting, but I'm not sure how much of a difference that is. If you turned ray casting on right now and watched, you would see that it doesn't move with the head, but that might not be the right thing to be looking at.
It might be that he is doing that ray casting separately, so he doesn't actually look at what the thing sees. He's just casting the rays in that area no matter what he actually sees.
True.
So, yeah, I'm not sure. But from what I've heard, he does actually see, but maybe he doesn't. Should look into that. And as I look at it now, I see I didn't even have to add the second character because Turner is looking around too.
Right. So, it's the effect is cool, and I love the way that it looks. And if it does affect gameplay, that will be awesome, and it will be very useful when some of the more stealth mechanics are added to the game, to know what they're seeing and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Next we have sound priorities, and this is pretty cool. You might know that a game can only play a certain amount of sounds at a time, and that means that if there are too many sounds playing at one time, it'll just stop playing some sounds. It just won't play them because it doesn't have enough channels to play the sound. And now he's prioritizing the sounds. So, for example, sounds that are like hitting sounds or falling sounds are more important than, for example, the ice crackling on the ground or someone running, someone's footstep, for instance. So it'll filter out the less important sounds and not any of the important ones. Right.
Which overall, my first reaction was everything seemed quieter when I first heard it. But I actually preferred that. I felt like the sounds weren't as forced into my face in the game as they had been previously.
Like how do you mean they actually sounded quieter to you?
Yeah, meaning the actual sounds of footsteps as I was moving around in the space. In particular, I was playing the newest challenge map that Zeramules did, and as I was sneaking up on people, I would not hear my own sounds as loud as I had previously when playing that same map. Yeah.
That's odd.
Odd? Maybe, but I actually felt like it was good because I couldn't hear other players as much when they weren't nearby and things like that. So I felt like there was... I heard more useful sound than I heard before. So before it was just sort of a mash of sounds, and now it's a little more usable.
Yeah.
So to speak. Yeah.
I see. Well, that's good. It's good that I didn't know that actually happened. I don't know. It just feels weird that would happen, because I thought it was just in certain situations where there were a lot of sounds happened to be playing at once. That it only affected that, but maybe does it even play sounds that are too far away or something like that? I don't know.
Well, I know that there was an issue with OpenAL playing sounds of characters no matter where on the screen they were. So, for example, on my Mac, I could jump up in the air and still hear footsteps, and David had decided that it was footsteps of the other characters moving around. So this actually fixes that problem for me. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Good. Nice. That's nice. Okay, moving on. So that's the sound priorities. Very nice, of course. And then we have some torso movement during head look. I'm guessing this, he added this because of the random look thing that he added. As you can see, he moves his torso as well when he's looking around with his head. And I think this is something that he's been wanting to add for a long time, but well, now he finally did it, since everyone's going to be looking around all the time.
Right.
And it doesn't make them look better.
It does not?
It does.
Yes, it does. It looks much more natural, I think.
Mm-hmm. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Fixed color palette cancel. I don't actually know what that is. Have you run into this problem?
I think if you hit cancel in the palette editor instead of hitting OK, that it maybe saved the changes instead of actually canceling the changes.
Oh, okay, I see. It's good that that's fixed. And then we have fixed problem with weapons and idle animations. Huh, have you run into this problem?
I have not.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, once again, good with fixed problems, of course. And if you run into any problems, you should send a bug report to bugs@wolfire.com to make sure that they can fix these problems, even though everyone doesn't know about them.
Right.
And then possible fix for editor mode false issue. This is an issue that has been here for a very, very long time. Basically, if when you first download the game, editor mode in the config file is set to false, and that for some reason caused the game to crash when you either launched it or when you launched a level, which is annoying because everyone who downloads the game for the first time will start with editor mode at false, and then their game will crash and they will have to come to the forums for help. And hopefully that's fixed now.
Right.
I know some. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I know that some people said that this fixed it for them, so that's good.
Right. I was going to say I read that, and then I also read that there was at least one person who said it did not fix it for them, but their problem may be something else.
Yeah. Well, it's good that it's fixed for some people at least, and hopefully we'll see a full fix for next week then.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So next we have added colors to all enemies on main levels. Yeah. Using the new color editing thingy that they have going on, you can now change the colors on all characters. They added that to the characters on all levels. I guess to show that, hey, you can change the colors on this character, and people might wonder what's up with that. Or maybe he just felt like it would be fun to change the colors of the characters, I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, if you go and you play all the different levels, they now have a certain feel to them, and each level feels different with the different colors. So I think by default, I've even gone into some of my own old maps that I made, and certain characters are now uncolored. Mm-hmm. So I think that it actually makes sense for people to go in and color their characters in their old maps if they want.
Yeah, that makes sense, because the guard character, guard number 1, also known as Robert.
Right.
He is the one who is white now. He's all white, so of course you need to color him on every level, so people won't wonder why their rabbit in the game is white.
Exactly, so especially for the official released levels. So
yeah.
I know I've added a bunch of features to some of my older levels that I will probably have to release at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, little things that make it better. Although I found a weird bug. I added hotspots with text on one of my levels to show. I added all these Easter eggs. So I added, when you find the Easter eggs, something pops up, or it tells you the point of the level, like sort of mission objectives, and somehow the hotspot for the text hotspot now causes you to bounce when you hit it. So you would be walking, and all of a sudden you would get this text pop up, and you would bounce, and yeah.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, well, it didn't really make a lot of sense. Like, why are they doing that? So.
Mm-hmm. But it's good that you go back and update your levels. I mean, especially since you have the 50 level super main menu mod, people will actually play them. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it's certainly easy to keep them up to date, especially for myself, since all I have to do is upload one little file and it's fixed for everyone that uses that.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
And
have that little cheat.
Yeah, I guess other people can update their levels as well, right?
Yes, and if you let me know that your level is updated, I will update it in the main menu mod, and yeah. So, I mean, it's actually better if you do let me know, so that we don't have old versions in the mod.
Yeah.
Although if of the few things certain levels have broken as the updates have come along, so levels are not infinite, unfortunately, even though it seems like they should be.
Yeah. Well,
I told you about the cave, right? That the cave level broke.
Yeah, you did.
Yep. Yep.
It's too bad,
No.
but it happens. It's alpha, so at least the levels work over several alphas, unlike mods.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Fix the decal opacity on objects. I haven't seen this error either, so I don't precisely know what it's about. But of course, opacity is, you know, the transparency of a decal. Yeah, good that it's fixed though.
Yeah, I think what was I going to say? I think that it might have to do with the difference between types of shadows and how they look on objects, so that maybe the character doesn't look... I know that a lot of times shadows from objects looked much more light and more blown out, so to speak, than the character's shadow did, so it could be something to do with that. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe.
But
I haven't really seen anything about it, so I really have no idea, man.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I'm starting up the level again. I restarted the game, so let's take a look at the screen space ambient occlusion.
Yes.
Okay. As you will probably notice right away, is I don't know if you can see that on the stream, but there are kind of dark splotches everywhere, and the frame rate seems to be a bit lower. Yeah, the frame rate is quite bad. Everything is a bit darker. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It certainly isn't perfect though.
No, and there's definitely sort of a dark halo around you. Well, there's a dark and a light halo around your character in front of everything.
Yeah. And of course the frame rate is much lower. But it does, like, if you look at... If you look at it, I mean, it looks pretty... In some places it looks better, but it sure isn't optimized yet. Neither actually performance-wise, nor looks-wise, if you can say like that.
Right. Yeah, I think so.
But it's nice. It would be nice to see a full working version of this in the game at some point.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's the most important thing, especially since the game is planning to use baked ambient occlusion. So,
yeah.
I don't know if I don't really necessarily think this version of ambient occlusion looks any better than the other one.
I don't think it's mostly for the looks. I mean, I think it mostly has a practical use.
I see.
Because then when you put an object inside of another object, you'll see that dark outline, and you'll know that the object is actually inside of that object, you know?
Right.
But yeah, it's cool that he did do this. I mean, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, it is very cool.
And that is the end of the changelog for this week. Yeah, lots of changes this week. Very nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Hope we'll see some nice stuff for next week as well, and of course we will be covering that too. So that's the weekly alpha. Next we have the community segment in which we take a look at what the community has been up to as of late. First up, we have the fan art watch, as usual. And this week there was only Shiny Gem fan art. I think that's a first, but it was bound to happen sometime, I guess.
I guess so.
So first we have this image right here. We have Slothman by Shiny Gem. He did post a line art of this one, and then he posted this colored version. Yeah, this guy seems like a nice dude, man.
Yeah, he looks like he's in. I die. At least that's what I've always thought.
He's a shy guy? Did you say that?
I said that it looks like he's dancing to me.
Oh, okay. I don't know why it sounded like you said he looks like a shy guy, but he kind of does. Yeah, he does look like he's dancing.
He kind of right?
Yeah, I totally agree, Anton. It's like that.
I don't think the world saw me cover my mouth.
No.
Hope they heard it to get the joke.
Yeah, I think they did. But I like this guy. I mean, he just seems so... He's so nice. He's happy. He's either dancing or just walking like nothing's going on. He's just, you know, hanging out.
Right.
He's a cool guy. I like him.
He's a cool guy.
So, well done, Shiny Gem. Next up, we have this image. It is Fluffy Dog by, well, Shiny Gem. All images today are from Shiny Gem. Yeah, this guy is cool. I like him too. What I do think is looking kind of weird is his crotch. It looks like his body is short or something like that. It looks a bit weird down there, anyways. But other than that, I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, it makes me laugh that he's kind of sticking out his tongue. That's maybe my favorite part.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, dogs and cats sometimes do that, and it's very cute. So
true.
It's nice.
True.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Next we have this one, Pygmy Rat Shaman. Is that correct pronunciation all over?
I think we would say shaman.
Shaman, okay.
Yeah, shaman. Shaman works too.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So we have this. Shaman. Yeah. Telling stories to the little kids in the village.
Right.
I do really like the little rats there. They're so cute. Just sitting there.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
So nice. And of course we have the colored version of Bye Kitty by Shiny Gem as well. And we saw this one, I don't know if it was last week or the week before that. But it's a nice image, and I think this image, when colored, he mentions that he thinks the shading of the last ones was very light. On this character, I don't know, maybe it's those lines that he has added to the clothes. I don't. It just looks like nice.
Yeah.
It's cool. So yeah, that's Bye Kitty, and we should probably throw this one out there as well. This image right there. It was posted by Jack the Awesome. When I walk on by, girls be looking like damn he fly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. I approve.
Yeah. I think Shiny Gem approves as well, so.
Overgrowth Weekly official seal of approval. /stamp. Boom.
You need a stamp.
I do need a stamp. I want to be able to hit a button and then it should be like a stamp on the screen. And everyone should be like, yeah, seal of approval.
That would definitely be pretty cool.
Yeah, and if you want to have your fan art in Overgrowth Weekly, of course you just go to the fan art thread in the Wolfire forums at wolfire.com and post it in here and we'll take a look and then we'll look at it. It'll be great. Yeah.
It will be.
Absolutely. So moving on, that's the fan art watch. Let's move on to this mod right here. We have the epic first person mod by Corbin3. Pronouncing his name correctly? Thumbs up. So I have a video I made. I actually uploaded it to the OG Weekly YouTube channel during the week. I think it was Wednesday. So let's take a look right there. As you can see, this mod adds a first-person perspective to the game, which is really cool.
It is, and the way that it's implemented is really cool, too.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that the way, I mean, you described it in the past, of course, but where the camera is actually attached to the head, right? And so you move the head, and it moves the camera.
Exactly. And that is... it's really amazing that you can do this so easily in this game. It's great. What I think is missing here is some attacks are they feel too quick for the first-person camera, so it's hard to see if they actually connect, and it's easier to see when the attacks do not connect. But when they do connect, it would be so cool if there were these... Like, if you get punched in the air, for instance, you would probably have some kind of beeping sound. I don't know what that's called. Tinnitus sound, you know?
The ringing? Yeah.
Yeah, the ringing, yeah, exactly. And stuff like that. Like, when you're in first person and you get hit in the face, you just expect some more effects to be going on. I remember in the old first person mod, I modded the first person mod and made it so that there was a bit more shake and stuff like that when you got hit, to give a bit more of an effect.
Right.
And yeah, I think stuff like that would be very beneficial to this mod.
Right.
Have you played with it?
I have played with it a little bit, and it's funny because the you know, the model in front of your face kind of looks really bizarre, that it sort of moves and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think it will be a great mod when it's done, but it definitely feels like it needs a different model to be the first person model, where maybe things sit a little different so that it looks better, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a very cool, like, proof of concept or whatever you can say.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's the first person mod by Corbin3, and you should probably check it out if you have the current alpha. It's a really cool mod. That's Alpha 161. And then we have this level, Town is called, and it's made by Deskp. It was the level that I had loaded right there just a minute ago, so I'm gonna load it up right again. Let's see, I need to find the name of the level. What do I have? That's not the name of the level. Overgrowth, data, levels. Desk. And it's loading up. Have you tried this level, Anton?
I have not yet. I plan to actually, as soon as we're done, and also plan to add it to my mod so that's easily downloadable for anyone who wants to play it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see, it's loading up right here. See if we can start to running around. I haven't played through this level yet. I just started it up to make sure that it worked, because I got home very recently, so I haven't had time to actually play this level yet.
Do you still have the ambient occlusion on?
No, I did.
The shader?
I did turn it off.
Oh, you did turn it off. Okay, good.
Oh yeah. So as you can see, like, the first thing you see when you start the level is that it looks very good. It just... yeah, it's nice. It reminds me of Hale's work, actually.
It does, actually, and I know that he commented that that he had never seen a big city, although I think if he would download Hale's maps, there's a couple that are pretty impressive in terms of large-scale cities, but this one to me looks much more like a medieval town than a lot of Hale's maps, which feel much more sort of romanticized, maybe would be the best word for it, whereas this feels like it's maybe more of a functioning city. So I actually really like what I'm seeing right now as you're sort of playing around inside of it.
Yeah, I was expecting there to be enemies in here, but it seems like most of them, if not all, are actually friendly.
Oh, meaning they're all civilian characters?
Yeah.
Ah.
Are you friendly? Yes, you are. Hi everyone! I guess I'm just a normal bloke now. That's fine though. It's really nice. What it's kind of missing is some kind of decals on the ground to indicate that it's very worn, people have walked. But just running around, it feels very nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty great. I can't wait to try it out. And it looks like there's a lot to explore, a lot of little stands, and yeah, it feels like a city. It feels like a place that you could visit in real life, and that's always something that's amazing. So this looks like, to me, this looks less of like a combat zone, but actually more of a place where you would have story points and story arcs. Could be a place that you return to maybe get missions or something if you were to go out of order. If this was a open world system, it feels like that kind of city to me, which is great.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, really cool. I mean, I hope someone, or maybe Desk himself, I know he's here watching right now in the chat, so it would be cool if there were some enemies in here and you could actually fight in this place. So there's my request to you, Mr. Desk. But yeah, really nice, very well done. Ooh, this building.
Yeah, no, I think it's very cool. Nice job.
Yep. All right, so that's that level, the town level by Desk. Nice job. I hope to see some more from him. I don't recognize his name, so I think he's quite new actually.
If I remember correctly, the post for that city was his first or second post, so cool. Definitely new, and welcome to the community. We hope to see more from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome, man.
Nice.
So that's the end of the community segment. We're moving on into the community side note segment, which is kind of like the community segment, except we try to take things a bit faster. Okay, so first we have Overgrowth 2D, as I mentioned before. It's the game that I'm working on right now. I don't think I have the latest version. I don't have the latest version right there because I've been working on it a bit in school today and yesterday. But the most recent update is that... Well, actually, let's just take a look at the video. You can't see it right here, but there is actually a main menu there. Let's see. I want to go see a bigger screen. There we go. And there you go. I'm testing out the AI right there. As you can see, running around. There's no animations yet. I have added a scrolling background, which is nice. Yeah, when I did this one, as far as I've come right here, I wanted to start the animation stuff much earlier, but you know, since it's a school thing, they're like, oh, you need to add this into your game, and I kind of like, I guess I'll add that into my game then.
Right.
So let's see if I can open up the latest version and test it
Oh, you're
out.
gonna show it to us live.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Overgrowth 2D live. So it was probably not such a good idea to add this to the to the side notes, but yeah, you know. Let's hope it
Nice.
compiles. Otherwise, I'm not gonna bother trying to fix it. So I'm doing this game in C# and Visual Studio 2011 using XNA 4 for those people that matters. And there you have the game. Let's see, place that right. Kind of like that. We have the editor. It's broken. It's not working. You can't save anything in it. And it wasn't actually part of the project to begin with. I added it because I felt like I needed to. And here you have my characters. He's kind of hitting the ground with his foot now, but yeah, they're animated now. I haven't finished the idle animation yet. He's actually not supposed to hit his foot in the ground like that, but when he's standing in a hill like this, he's supposed to have one of these images that he's going between right here, and through that he's going to be able to stand with his feet in the correct positions, if that makes sense. So he's going to stand with his feet on the ground, hopefully. and there's no jumping animation yet, but yeah, so this is what I've been working on for 2 days, and I'm quite happy with the animation actually. You can see it's blinking as well because I have an empty frame. Programming stuff needs to be fixed.
Man, so many things.
Yeah.
No, but it's actually, it's looking cool, and for 2 days, it's a lot of progress.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't make this game in 2 days. I just made the animations in 2 days.
Yeah, well, still.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I knew you didn't make the game in 2 days. We've been following it for like 6 months already.
6 months. Yeah, right.
6 months, 3 weeks. It's kind of a blur, right?
Yeah, well, you know, stuff. So that's OG2D. I'm going to post an update to that maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, next we have the mod blood by Last. So this is a mod that allows you to remove all blood from the game or add extra blood to the game if you wish, and you can also make yourself invincible using a sweet little menu. So when you hit escape, you'll get this game menu, and you can open the settings menu right there and change those settings when you have this mod installed.
Yeah, I did install it this week. I actually hadn't for a few weeks because I didn't have a lot of time, but he added some feedback. But what's interesting is that you have to turn on the third button down from the top to actually get blood to show up in the first place, and then you have to hit the first button to make the extra blood show up. So it's kind of it seems a little out of order, the buttons. So you know, if he's able to reorder them or maybe label them a little more appropriately. He did add feedback so you can tell when you're turning it on and off, which is great. Although it's a little text that flashes momentarily, so it's definitely not, you know, it's not a fully functioning user interface yet, but it is very interesting. I like it, and the mod itself is cool as always. So
nice. Yeah.
Nice job, Last.
Yeah, it's a really nice mod in general. Been going on for ages now. He's
in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. I don't know how he how he manages to do that, but very well done, Last. And look. Yeah, I'm getting the hang of these hotkeys, man. Yeah, so we have the Terminator Turner by Last. This little Terminator Turner dude that we looked at a few months ago, I think it was. You can now use the palette color editor to change the color of this little Terminator Turner guy.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's a nice update.
Yeah. And he also, I mean, he had to update some of the masking so that you wouldn't change the color of the blood, and the fur, I think, was the other thing he prevented you from changing. So, you know, he did some work on it to really make it look the way it does, and it's great. So,
yeah,
very
absolutely.
cool, Last. Yeah.
Well done. And that's the end of the community side note segment. Moving on into the news. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Humble Indie Bundle 4 introduced. Yes, absolutely. There is a 4th Humble Indie Bundle that has been launched. And yeah, it's doing very, very well. It's doing fabulously, and it's a really great bundle. So you have Jamestown, Bit Trip Runners, Super Meat Boy, Shank, and Night Sky HD. If you pay more than the average, you also get gratuitous space battles. Gratuitous space battles.
Yes.
I actually, what did I see? I saw someone who thought, who said it was called gracious space battles, which was nice.
You know, that would be an interesting concept.
Yeah.
No, please, you can blow me up. It's all right.
Absolutely. And then we have Cave Story Plus, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of great games here. A lot of really great games.
An amazing and fantastic bundle, and has been their fastest selling bundle to date, with over 1 million It's almost 200,000 copies sold in the first 24 hours.
Whoa.
Which is pretty amazing. Maybe it was closer to 150,000 copies in the first 24 hours, but yeah.
That's pretty amazing. It looks like right now they're up to 300,000 bundles, which is a lot. And and they recently added as well, of course, that you get the soundtracks for all of the games. Yeah, all of the games.
And even awesome, even amazing as well, is that they've included FLAC versions of 2 of the soundtracks. And yeah, thanks to a little prodding by someone we might know, convinced them that adding FLAC, it would be a good choice. So.
It's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I know I don't hear any difference between MP3 and FLAC, but that's probably because I don't have a cool sound card or a cool set of headphones, and I don't know, I don't listen enough to music to be able to hear the difference either, probably.
I think you probably would, although you may not recognize what you're listening to. But I listened to a podcast about a lot of home theater and home audio and stuff, and they recently had an interview with a guy who had been in a test with a bunch of people, some audiophiles, people who listen to music on a regular basis, and some people who they were just like regular people. And they started playing a song, and the only question that they asked was, listen to this song and tell me what you think about it. And so everyone thought that they were doing a listening test. And what was interesting is that everyone said that it started really, really amazing, and then partway through they kind of got sick of it. They said, this doesn't sound as good. And by the end they said, you know what, this is just a terrible recording. Why are you making us listen to it? Which was interesting. They couldn't understand why this song that some of them knew, some of them didn't, why it sounded so good at the beginning and why it sounded so bad at the end. And the test was actually being run on them was, and this was unanimous, like everyone thought that it just got worse as they listened to the song. And what happened was that as the song progressed, the person running the test had actually been changing the playback of what they were listening to. So it started off with a full high quality, actually I think an HD resolution audio file, and then it went to FLAC, and then it went to an AAC at 320 kilobits per second, and then it went to a 128 MP3. And even though it was the same song and they didn't necessarily hear the change in quality, they actually all responded very negatively in that situation. So while I know a lot of people say they don't hear the difference, they say, oh, I don't notice the difference, there's a good chance that your brain actually does interpret the difference, and you might enjoy the sound. You might enjoy a CD more if it's a full high quality or a FLAC version rather than a compressed MP3. So it's kind of a interesting, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting debate, and one that there's a lot of course, the higher quality of your sound system will make a difference on how much you're able to hear, and there's too much to go into all of that, but definitely, it's interesting. And I'm going to answer a question from the chat. My favorite genre of music is actually contemporary classical music. So classical music being written by living composers. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm gonna have to start listening to the FLAC versions of everything that I get then, and see if I feel the difference, I guess.
Well, I mean, what you could do the best would be to really listen back and forth, and maybe do it multiple times and see, you have to train your ears what to listen for, because it's not that you're going to suddenly not hear the bass line, or you're suddenly not going to hear the guitar, or something like that. It's that you will, the recording quality won't be as good. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So humble indie bundle for, if you haven't gotten it yet, I don't know. Yeah, you should probably get it.
You should. It's great.
It really is, and it's a very it's a very good Christmas gift. It's a very good Christmas gift.
True.
You can you can send a get sent a giftable code, and then you can just email that or write that down to anyone you want to give it to, and they get how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, including 7 soundtracks.
It's a pretty great deal, and you can also donate to the American Red Cross and the Child's Play charity, and that's awesome. The American Red Cross is a change this year as opposed to EFF compared to last year, or compared to the last bundles, and apparently it had to do with requests from the actual game makers. They kind of vote on which charities they want their money donated to. So it's cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, someone's asking more about music. I don't know if you should talk more about music. But yeah, someone's asking, Gall Whisper asks, what other genres you and I listen to, Anton?
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is that I listen to just about any kind of music. I just find that the music that interests me the most tends to not be static. So static is sort of a not the easiest word to understand, because I do listen to what's called minimal music, which is very repetitive, minimalist music. But a lot of modern electronic music, for example, has the same sounds or the same beats that play consistently, and it becomes tiring to listen to, a 4-bar loop played over and over and over with no change. So there are some amazing electronic musicians out there, and yeah, I mean, I listen to everything. I'm a big metal fan. I love really heavy metal kind of stuff. It's a friend of mine, and yeah, kind of everything really. I have friends that are country stars, friends that are goth musicians that I love that are great. Pretty much anything you play me, if there's something good about that particular recording or performance, I will probably enjoy it.
Cool.
How about you? What do you tend to listen to?
I actually don't listen to a whole lot of music, but when I do, I listen to... what do I listen to? I listen to electronic music when I do listen. I like The Glitch Mob, for instance, and Justice, stuff like that. I don't listen to, as I said, a lot of different kinds of musics, because I don't listen to a lot of music, so I can just turn on something that I know works. And also, of course, Nervous Test Pilot, also known as Ensnare, is very good. But it's mostly electronic. But of course I like other music. I've listened to Red Hot Chili Peppers and Gorillaz and moved on through loads of different artists. It's kind of like I'm walking down a path. I'm always finding new kinds of music. It started out with more rock, kind of basic rock like Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then moved on. It's kind of interesting, actually.
Right. Yeah, it's... Yeah, I don't know, music is so subjective and time and location based. Obviously, since I am a musician, one of the things that has always interested me is sort of how you can manipulate time using music. And that's a friend of mine talks about how music is, it doesn't exist in any form except over time. So it's kind of amazing.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. I think we've talked enough about music for 1 week, man. I mean, this is Overgrowth Weekly after all, not Music Weekly. But it's interesting music.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, when you guys start asking me those kinds of questions, I could probably rant for hours.
Yeah, it's fine. It's interesting. It's interesting, but yeah, it's not 100% related. But we're talking about it anyways. We don't care.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Well, I also like soundtracks. How's that? Since we were talking about Humble Indie Bundle,
Exactly.
I do like soundtracks, film scores in particular. Some game soundtracks. I've also discovered lately that I've been disappointed with a lot of game soundtracks, especially outside of the game, which is not to say that it's a bad soundtrack, because a lot of, music in a game is important. And it is like, for all of these Humble Indie Bundle games and stuff, the soundtracks, for some of them are quite good in the game. Some of them are good away from the game, and some of them are incredibly boring outside of the game. So
yeah,
it
really is. It depends on it depends on the game and the music, of course.
yeah. So,
but yeah,
cool.
It's nice. So next we have this Linux update that was posted by Urkel. It's nothing big. He's basically talking a bit about what needs to be done for the port and what state the port is in right now. Right now the game isn't working at all for him. He's having some trouble with Osmium, unfortunately, but yeah, hopefully he'll be able to get it to work soon, and he'll be able to show us some in-game screenshots and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to that happening.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool.
We're excited for the Linux port.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yay, Linux.
And we were talking about the Humble Indie Bundle 4. And is it true, Anton, that we have received something?
It seems possible, since we do tend to have some friends that work at Humble Bundle Inc.
Yeah. That is the case, I think. So we received 4 keys, am I right?
I think it's 4 this time, yeah.
4 from Jeff, from Humble Bundle Incorporated. So that's really nice. Of course, he keeps giving us keys to give away, and we struggle to find good ways to give those keys away to you guys. But this time, we're going to keep doing the trivia questions for you. So that should be cool.
It's working so far.
Yeah.
As long as you guys like trivia.
So get your, get your search engines ready, because let's just fire away the first question. I'm going to start saying the question, and as soon as I do that, I'm going to post it in the chat. Just so you guys know, I'm going to post the question in the chat right as I start reading it, so everyone will get it roughly at the same time, even though you might be like 15 seconds behind someone else in the actual stream. So, with that, the first question. Let's get this ready. What was the first Wolfire-related bundle? So, once again, what was the first Wolfire-related bundle? This is the first question for the first key. And the first one to get the answer right, of course, in the chat, is going to get one of the keys. Tanjavik already in the chat.
Right. Well, while we're waiting, Confused said that he's fooling around with a metal version of the OG main theme. I actually did one, and there was also a really good one by George Tsiov. Did a cool cover of as well as a metal version of the OG main theme. Mm-hmm. And no, we are not looking for a date on this one. We are looking for what was the name of the first bundle that was associated with Wolfire.
Exactly.
Oh, and I think we have a winner.
Okay, what is this? Images, maps, videos, news, shopping, more. Search options, all results related search. He copied a bit more than he was supposed to, but at the end there it said, let's see here, search results for Overgrowth and Natural Selection 2, organic indie pre-order pack. So that was
Ape Spectre.
Ape Spectre, yes.
Yes.
Ape Spectre, you should send us an email at ogweekly, ogweekly@gmail.com, and so we know who you are, and we can send you your key. So,
Exactly.
okay, so question number 2. What was the first bundle released by Humble Bundle Inc.? So, once again, what was the first bundle released by Humble Bundle? The Humble Bundle company. And, yes, I'm going to write your name down while I still have it here. Just to make sure that I have it right there. So yeah, what was the first bundle released by Humble Bundle?
What was the first bundle released by Humble Bundle?
Yeah, that's a good question, isn't it?
Oh man. Ape Spectre wins again.
Let's see, Humble Indie Bundle 2, Ape Spectre. Yeah. So Ape Spectre has won 2 keys so far. You guys need to shape up, man. Ape Spectre won the second one again. So the answer to that question was Humble Indie Bundle 2.
Correct. Which was a trick question because it seemed like Humble Indie Bundle 1 should have been the first one.
Yeah, precisely. So.
But that one was actually done by Wolffire before Humble Bundle Inc. existed.
Exactly. So that kind of a trick question. We're playing with the guys now. We're playing with your minds.
Yep.
That's
so.
Good. Yeah.
Ape Spectre will have to figure out what to do with 2 keys now.
Yeah, I guess that's a couple of good Christmas gifts. But let's go on with the third question. And it's right here. Okay. What was the inspiration for the Humble Bundle pricing scheme? What was the inspiration for the Humble Bundle pricing scheme? This is the third question. And it might be a trick one.
It might be. It might be. Although I actually think that Tanjavik already knows this one. And he says that he does in the chat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he pays too much attention to everything. So.
Yeah.
Ooh, and Sed gets this one.
Yeah, Kepi first came with the answer, "They're good hearts," and no, it wasn't "They're good hearts," but that's actually a very, very good guess. So Sed says, "Pay what you want, sale for World of Goo upon the title's first anniversary." So yeah, Sed, congratulations for the third key, I mean. So the answer to that was, let me reiterate the question. What was the inspiration for the Humble Bundle pricing scheme? The answer was World of Goose, pay what you want.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. So let's copy Sed's name right there. Like, I know his name, but I need to save him. Fourth and last question, your chance to win a Humble Bundle 4 key. Alright. So, are you ready, guys? Are you ready, guys? When was Humble Indie Bundle number 3 released? When was Humble Indie Bundle number 3 released? This is one of those date trivia questions. Those are the easiest one to come up with. I think Anton came up with the first, second, and third, and the fourth, and I found the subject for the fourth.
Well, it looks like Wild Boar came up with the first date, so...
July 26th, 2011, says Wild Boar OG. I see Gull Whisper and Ape Spectre and Kepi came with the same answer right afterwards. But Wild Boar was the first one, July 26th, 2011. So congratulations to Wild Boar for winning the 4th key.
Nice job.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's it, man. We have 4 keys, and next week, are we going to announce this now, Anton?
Oh, I won't be here next week.
You won't be here next week?
Unfortunately. No, no. I can't. I can't. Unfortunately, family is asking for me.
All right.
Why don't we do it on the 1st?
It's Christmas next week.
That's right. It is Christmas next week.
Do it on the 1st, you say? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we're going to have. This is pretty crazy. We're going to have one Overgrowth Weekly on the 25th of December, which is Christmas for a lot of people. And then we're going to have one on the 1st, which is the first day of the year. A couple of epic Overgrowth Weeklies right there. So yeah, let's do that on the 1st. Shall we announce it now, though?
Sure.
Just for some hype. Just for some hype. We actually got a... Yeah. Go Whisper says, OG giveaway, please. Yeah, OG giveaway. We're going to give away a copy of Overgrowth for the first time ever. And thanks to Wolfire, of course, for giving us that copy of Overgrowth to give away. They're always so nice and giving us stuff to give to you guys.
Right.
I love them. Big hearts.
They're quite amazing.
Absolutely. So on the first day of 2012, someone is going to get Overgrowth, and it's going to be a good day indeed.
It will be.
So yeah, I think that's the end of the show.
I think it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks everyone for watching. Of course, go to ogweekly.com for all your OG Weekly related business, I guess. And we have the archives there. You can watch previous shows as well as the agenda for the upcoming show and all sorts of stuff. It's really great. But anyways, yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Bye.